Last week we left off and we were discussing a bit about when someone is just be able to afford the bare minimum and how the Bitachon works with that. And we're coming to a close over here on the second category of which Bitachon applies. Remember when we started this Perek Daled, we discussed that there are 7 different categories where Bitachon lies, and we're coming to a close on the second one of those Bitachons, of the second of those categories. The last little piece on the second category, we talk about when a person earns his living through a way that he's not really excited about. And what that means is, he says over here, so if one's income comes through him through a particular medium rather than another medium, meaning he has a job, but he's not excited about his job, he wants to get a different job. Or he doesn't like that he works in Manhattan and he wants to stay and work in Brooklyn or Tom's River, whatever it is. Or maybe he doesn't like his boss, his manager, he wants a different manager or a different boss. He should say to himself, that the person who formed me, the person who brought me into this world, the person who rather the one that's some from qualities and traits, the person who gave me all the things that I am really good at, is the same person that brought me into this world. He brought me into this world, and those specific 2 people, my parents, rather than making me part of 2 different parents. Is the same person who is giving you also the das of where to make your income, how to make your income, who your boss should be, who your manager should be, where in the world you're going to be working, all those different things. He is the one who appointed you how to make your income, how to make you think, how to make it work, and all that, and where you are. It says in the pasuk, Hashem is righteous in all his ways. That Hashem, the same person, the same one, Hashem, who brought you into this world and put you into the perfect way, how you should be, how you look, how you think, how smart you are, and to the parents and the siblings and everything that you have, it's the same exact person that is putting you in that spot. And that you should just know that that is meant to be the way it is. And that brings us to a close on the second category of Shaar Habitachon. Now we're going to go on to the third category of Bitachon, and which talks about our relationships that we have with others around us. Over here, haven't we explained that a personal income, in regards to someone's his own necessities and his extra comforts, Chovos now goes into talking about the interactions with others. And this has nothing to do really with money. It just has basically to do with the communication, the friends, and the family that we have. In the third of these categories, and also his friends. It talks about the relationships that he has with his wife, his kids, his friends. His friends. Talks about the people who are on top of him and below him in his social circles, and doesn't necessarily mean people who are actually below you. It just means people who might come to you for help with certain instances. Maybe it is with money, maybe it is with advice, or people above you, people who you might go to seek advice and help or assistance financially. The correct way of applying Bitachon in Hashem regarding these matters is like this. A person who's he can be found in 2 situations. Either he's living as a stranger in a place and he has no company, or so us as people, we have 2 ways we're living in this world. One of them, we live together in harmony. We live in a community where we have friends. We might even have our families in that community. And then there are people that are traveling, or people that just don't live next to any friends or any family, or maybe they don't have any friends or any family, and they're living alone in this world. They have just themselves, or maybe just a spouse and children, but they're themselves. That's just them, they're isolated. So the Shaar Habitachon over here, Chovos Avavos, wants to delve into a little bit and talk about how we're supposed to deal with Bitachon when it comes to the first one of these, when we're living in by ourselves. So meaning we're not between friends, we're not between family. Maybe we're mashalochim, and we're living far away, and there's nothing there. How do we deal with the bitachon? If he's a stranger in this land, then if he feels lonesome, he should take comfort in the company of Hashem. He should say, look, Hashem is everywhere, and he should start feeling a little better that Hashem is everywhere, Hashem is with him. And when he encounters difficulty as a foreigner, he should rely on Hashem, meaning that when he's in a difficult spot, like he has no one to turn to, nobody to talk to, he should just know and feel good in the fact that he could talk to Hashem. Hashem is there to listen. Also, he should bring in mind that the soul is always a foreign in this world. We spoke for the last few weeks. We said you have Olam Haba, Olam Hazeh, and one of the points we made is that the true world is Olam Haba, and that in reality our souls are here as strangers. We're also traveling through this world. We're as they say. And that people in this world are also travelers throughout this world. As the verse says, the land shall not be sold permanently, for land is mine. We talk about Yovel over there. And by Yovel, you see that after 50 years, the land that you purchased, you technically just leased it, and it goes back to the original owner. So the Rav Av over here is trying to bring a little comfort to the idea that when we live alone. But honestly, I feel that what speaks most to us is not when we live alone. I feel, at least the people I know, and I feel like everyone on this call, we live between people that we have either friends, we have family, we might have both of them. And so we're going to turn now to a bit about people who live in between people who they care about, or people who they have family. But before that, we might actually not have time today. But before that, I want to talk a little bit about something about this book that I picked up. I told you guys about last week from David Lieberman. He brought a very interesting point over there, and I wanted to share it because I feel like it's a good part of structure, understanding Bitachon. He talks about Emunah Bitachon, and this chapter talks about the logic of Bitachon. What is the logic behind it? And in logic, we mean bring it down in context. He brings an example. If you have an airplane engineer, someone who designs and builds airplanes, and that airplane engineer knows exactly what an airplane could withstand and how much it can take when it's up in the air. Now he's flying in the air, this airplane engineer is flying cross country, and all of a sudden they encountered bad winds and turbulence, and the plane starts shaking terribly. This engineer starts getting very afraid, but in his mind, he really knows that this plane can really withstand a lot more than it's getting right now. But yet he still fears. There's still doubt in his mind. There's still those what ifs in his brain saying, what if this, what if that? Bitachon is that. Bitachon is, we know what we're supposed to do. We know how we're supposed to feel and how we're supposed to react. We have work to do. He brings a bit over here. The difference between Emunah and Bitachon is, Emunah is knowing what we have to do. But Bitachon, that's the work that we need to do. The engineer, he has the Emunah portion because he went to school, right? If we want to compare, he understands the concepts. He knows that the plane is airworthy and it's going to withstand all these winds. But something is not triggering in his brain, and his fight or flight is kicking in, and it's just not working in his benefit. That's what Bitachon is. We have to take what we know. We know that Hashem is there for us every single moment. We know that Hashem, whatever happens, is for our good. And we have to use that knowledge, that engineer brain that we have, that we learned in school as little kids, and what we keep on learning as adults. We know that Hashem is always going to help us, and He's always going to do things for our good. We have the Bitachon part that we have to do is the hard work. The hard work is we have to internalize that. We spoke about this a few times over the last couple of weeks. We have to internalize that, and we have to understand, and we have to lose that fear. We can't have that flight or fight. We have to know that every time we hit something that's hard, that is what Hashem intended to happen for whatever reason. You might actually see down the road what that reason was. But we have to understand that those winds are nothing. Those winds are part of what this airplane can withstand. We are that airplane. We are that we know we can withstand it. We have to lose that fear in our mind has to be gone, but we have to work on ourselves. And when we work on ourselves and we stop doubting, then we will come to that point where we could actually do well. And he brings a point over here and he says, we all know that a person has a very difficult time feeling love when they themselves don't feel love. If they don't love themselves, someone might think they're not pretty, they're not good looking. And so when they think themselves and they put it into their mind that they're not good looking, they feel and they believe that everybody around them thinks the same way. When we as people don't believe in ourselves at all, how do you expect us to understand that we feel loved from Hashem? If we can't love ourselves, an example would be when we do our veros, what happens is we feel like, oh, I gave in. When you're on a diet and you give in and you cheat on your diet, you feel like, oh, I don't have the brain, the stamina, the capacity to go on this diet. You see, I'm cheating on my diet. But we know that someone who's on a diet for a long time, and the longer they're on it, the better they can sustain themselves. They have a much better mental stamina and the ability to stay away. It's the same thing with Bitachon. If we stay away from the Averos, we do Hashem's will, what He wants, we get closer and closer to Hashem, and we don't have this setback in our mind. Our egos don't kick in and say, oh, Hashem doesn't love me. Why? Because I'm doing Averos. You don't forget this whole thing. I'm done. I'm done with Bitachon. So we have to stay away from that. Remember, just because you think you're not pretty doesn't mean others don't. Hashem thinks we're beautiful. Hashem loves us. He just wants us to do good by Him. That's all He wants. So that's what we have to remember. And we're going to get back into this tomorrow. We have to work on the basics of ourselves. We have to love ourselves. We have to do things to make sure that that Hashem loves us because we love ourselves. And in order to love ourselves, we have to do right by us. You do things, you feel good about yourself, and all of a sudden you walk around and you feel like you're the king. Everyone knows this. When you do well, you wake up in the morning and you conquered, you started that day. You know, everyone looks at you like they can tell that you're walking in with such a different personality. When you go on a diet and you lost 30 pounds, you feel good about yourself. All of a sudden you look at everybody else and you feel like everyone's looking at you like, wow, he conquered. That's true, he did. And everyone believes that too, and that's the same thing with Hashem. You have to conquer yourself first. After you conquer yourself, you can believe then that Hashem can help you. Guys, remember that. It's work in progress. You're going to do it every single day. You're going to have good days, you're going to have bad days. But every single day you're going to get up and you're going to try and you're going to say, today, I'm going to conquer. And today, Hashem is going to love me. But the truth is Hashem loves you every single day. You just have to believe it in your mind. I love you guys. Have an amazing day.